Vice President of Sales and Marketing with Zultys. Brian, thank you for such a warm welcome. I've got to tell you, you pretty much stole my thunder. So we at Zultys are very thrilled, continuing to be thrilled with our partnership with TAG, and we seem to be growing it stronger and stronger as we move forward. So really, I've got a very small part in what we're going to be doing today. Justin Bush, our Vice President of Sales, and Charles DiTrinalis, our Director of Product Management, is with us. And they're really giving us TAG members only, as you said, a preview of our latest accomplishments that include our major new release, version 16. We've got so much packed into 16, you'd really think of it as 2 releases with all the different capabilities, from including ZAC capabilities, web-based, WebRTC, enabled functionality, and a whole lot more. So once again, we really appreciate you taking the time. We know the holiday season's almost on us. We just all finished a really fantastic quarter, so we appreciate that from everyone. And I'm going to turn it over to Justin and Charles, and I promise to try and not steal the thunder, so hopefully I haven't said too much already. So Justin, Charles, please take it away, and good luck.
Thank you, John. Well, let me just say that really excited to be here for the TAG presentation. Zultys is extremely excited about these updates, as John indicated. Today, we're going to cover our Release 16 update, all the improvements we've made to ZAC 7, and then we're actually going to give you a little peek at what Zultys has planned beyond Release 16, kind of give you an idea of where we're headed beyond the release. So for Release 16, John indicated we had a large feature set. These are very large features. They're features that have been requested by you, the TAG members, as well as many partners. So we're very pleased and excited to introduce these to you today. The first one we're going to talk about is HIPAA compliance. Then we're going to run into voicemail transcription. We're going to talk about SMS integration. And then we're going to finish up with the new wallboard, web-based wallboard that we've enhanced since the original introduction in 15. So let's start off with HIPAA compliance, and I'm going to let Justin speak on this now.
All right, I appreciate it, Charles. So we're really excited to announce that Zultys is becoming HIPAA compliant. One of the things that we really want to focus on with the TAG partners and allow you guys to get ahead of this is we're really looking to help you raise the bar on the competition. As Brian said, it's all about raising and increasing the margins for you guys as partners. And HIPAA compliant is a great way to raise the bar against your competition. Part of what we're going to talk about is what a BAA is today and how we sign one and who we sign one with. But part of what we want to do as we go through is get you guys to realize that raising the bar on your competition doesn't just mean doing HIPAA compliance with Zultys. If you guys are offering MSP services, you should really be talking to the medical facilities and saying, hey, are you really letting somebody in that's not HIPAA compliant? If you're doing cabling, camera access, whatever it happens to be, if you're HIPAA compliant, you should really have the ability to close the door on your competition and raise your margins, because your competition more than likely isn't going to be HIPAA compliant. So, as part of this, we want to help raise the bar. So when we talk about HIPAA compliance at Zultys, if we're doing the Zultys Cloud Services model where Zultys is doing the work, we are going to sign a BAA directly with your customer, because we are responsible for all the PHI. We're responsible for everything, all the configuration, programming, interaction with your customer. So for us, in that case, we would actually sign a BAA, and we would sign one with every single customer that you sign on board as they come on board. For every other deployment, and we're going to actually do HIPAA compliance, even in the premise-based, cloud-based, green label, any version, every version beyond the ZCS requires a subcontractor BAA. So the way it works is you sign a BAA with the end user, we have a subcontractor BAA with you. One of the really nice things about this is we have to sign one between our organization and your organization, and that will cover every system you want to install that's going to require HIPAA compliance. The only thing that we're going to ask you to do is notify us every system that's going to be HIPAA compliant to make sure that we set everything up on the back end inside of our data centers to be HIPAA compliant. But again, it's all about raising the bar and allowing you guys some headway in this, and doing this 2 weeks before we announce it to the rest of the channel allows you to go and start the HIPAA compliance with a tag partner, Digital Compliance, who can walk you through becoming HIPAA compliant. I know it seems like it's really important to you guys. It takes about 40 hours roughly to become HIPAA compliant. So there is some work that has to be done on your side. But, you know, before we start releasing this to the world and everybody starts to want to become HIPAA compliant, you know, I urge you guys to go and start this HIPAA compliance journey. You know, one of the things that you don't want to do is sign a BAA. If we execute a subcontractor BAA with you, you proclaim to be HIPAA compliant to your customer and get caught in an audit. You know, at the end of the day, these fines can be very hefty for every incident that occurs. So we want to make sure that everybody's going to follow the letter. So as part of us signing a subcontractor BAA, we have to know that you're HIPAA compliant, and you will get to talk to our HIPAA compliance officer, I believe sitting right below me on this Zoom call, for us to execute the subcontractor BAA. But we are very excited about this HIPAA compliance. Again, it's all about raising the bar and increasing the profits, and we think this is just a great tool for us.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. One other thing, for those of you who do in the subcontractor BAA model Justin mentioned, we will be providing you a formal configuration guide to show you how to configure the MX with all the necessary settings to make that instance HIPAA compliant. So it'll be a step-by-step instruction on here's the settings you need to set, and here's what you need to do to ensure that the Zultys MX conforms to HIPAA compliance. So we've got you covered there. No worries. All right. So let's take a look at, you know, speaking of the MX, so let's take a look at the features we actually had to improve, add, or modify to conform to HIPAA compliance. One of the first areas was password changes or password enforcement. So we have added things or improved on things like there's a length requirements for HIPAA compliance. They must be 9 characters or longer. You must be able to force a user to change their password when they log in. So a user logs in, we've now got a configuration button where the first thing they will be asked is to change their password. There's no option. We also enforce that they cannot use any of the last 4 combinations, another requirement. And we also enforce complexity. It can't just be all numbers, all letters. It's got to be a mix of letters, numbers, or characters. And the nice thing we did is when you're in the MX Administrator program and you're configuring the passwords, you will actually see green or red, meaning that, hey, this password conforms to the complexity requirements or does not conform. So you get an instant visual feedback when you're administering the password area. Oh, and by the way, the password changes we actually configured for HIPAA compliance, but I think many of you can already see that this feature also has use as a general security requirement for more robust password enforcement. So just from a general IT perspective, you can utilize this feature, even if you don't utilize it for HIPAA compliance. It also has value from an IT administrator's perspective that you are configuring complex, secure passwords. So double bonus on the one feature that we added to meet HIPAA compliance. We also added data retention policies, and this is simply a method to say how many days do you want us to retain sensitive information. There's also a requirement in there. That's configurable in the MX as well. And then there's also an audit log requirement. And you can think of the audit log as our MX syslog, but it's actually enhanced. We track more detail, more level. And what that is a log that you can export that will show access to administrator, show access to the system, phones registering, everything that a HIPAA auditor would look at to say who accessed the system is available in our audit log feature. And again, it can be exported from MX Administrator. So those are the features and functions that that you will see from an MX system standpoint. But I want to touch a little bit on what you don't see, and that is in our Zultys data center, kind of behind the scenes or under the covers, if you will. And these features and functions that we've been doing in the Zultys data center for quite some time, basically since its inception, what we've done is we've taken and we've formally documented all these processes and procedures that we've been following and made them such that we conform with HIPAA requirements now. And there's kind of three main areas in HIPAA: physical security, technical security, and administrative items. In the terms of physical security, in the Zultys data center, we know exactly who goes in that data center, who goes into any of our cages. We video record any and every one. We know exactly what equipment is repaired, tracked by serial number, and we review these on a monthly basis, in addition to any immediate incident responses that we monitor 24/7. Our data center is very secure. Your data is very secure there, and we are continually, it's a constant state of improvement. We always are looking for better ways to enhance and modify security. So that's a big priority in the Zultys data center. In terms of technical security, we perform periodic vulnerability testing. We try and hack our systems to see, are we vulnerable? Did we find any weaknesses? We go and correct them. We actually do disaster recovery testing on an annual basis. This means that we fail over all MXs from one geographic data center to the other. We ensure that they all fail over properly. We ensure that they come up in the redundant data center, and then we fail back to the primary data center and make sure that everything is up and running and we encountered no issues. We've done this multiple times, and every time we come up with just minor issues, no major issues in our disaster recovery. It's a very powerful feature, and our operations team has done a fantastic job. We document data destruction procedures. We have logical access control. Anyone who is not allowed to access any resources in that data center doesn't get access to those resources, period. We also have all the audit controls so that we know in our monthly review meetings, we check who's accessing systems. Are they supposed to be accessing systems? And if they are, why are they? And why haven't we prevented anything? Everything is very tightly controlled in the data center. And then from an administrative standpoint, we implement our logical access policies, our incident reports, where again, monitoring 24/7. If there's any type of incidents, we disposition it, minor, major. We have a crisis team ready to go 24/7. We all can get on a call and say, okay, this is a serious enough issue that we need to take action. We have formal employee training programs, workforce termination programs, workstation use policies, and a secure storage area so that you can ensure that when you use the Zultys data center, your instance data is absolutely secure, and only people who are HIPAA authorized, okay, with confidentiality agreements in place, will be accessing any data on that instance. So this is, and I mention this because this is something you won't see. You just see an instance in the data center, but all this is going on behind the scenes in our data center, and our team has done a fantastic job at making this data center secure, reliable, and scalable. So it's been a real pleasure to work with the team on this HIPAA effort in the data center. So let's take a look at the next feature, voicemail transcription. And I believe you wanted to state something here, Justin.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this, guys. I tell you a cost on this, but we decided to give this to you guys because it's a really highly requested feature, and it is absolutely cool to be able to see this voicemail transcription. It is super useful today for your customers to be able to sit in a meeting and at a glance look down at either their ZAC on their screen or to be able to see the email coming through with the transcription coming through. But you know, for us, we allow you guys to use 3 different services. And so there's no charge from Zultys on this voicemail transcription, but your customer can set up an account and you can do it for them with any one of the 3 that Charles is going to discuss. And you can pick and choose which one you really want to utilize. Today, I think Charles, we're using Google today inside of our system today, correct?
That is correct.
And I've got a great hit rate. It gives me a good idea on who's calling in, and I can check that voicemail ahead of time. But you know, my favorite part right now is the fact that I can see it in ZAC. It doesn't necessarily have to be in my email because I really don't like my emails popping up when I do demos. So the ability to pick and choose where you want to look at it is really a cool feature for us. And again, no charge is crazy. We talked about how much we were going to charge for it, and at the end of the day decided that this is just a feature that we have to provide, we're looking at providing more for the same amount we do today. So more of a freemium than it is anything else.
Excellent. Thank you, Justin. So as Justin mentioned, we do interop with 3 services today. The first is the Google speech-to-text service. Then we have the Microsoft Azure speech-to-text service and the IBM Watson speech-to-text service. I can tell you from early access feedback, all 3 services have been in use by early access sites, and all 3 are performing very well in terms of speech recognition and translation. So really, in terms of which one you would want to utilize, it's really a question of your business model and checking out which service best suits you. The customer or yourself, the partner, just simply creates an account, a Google account, a Microsoft account, or an IBM Watson account. All these services have various levels from free all the way through paid levels. It's typically based on usage, so many words, so many characters, etc. So each service is different. So you can price it out based on their levels of service. From an MX administrator standpoint, it's a very simple configuration. You simply go into system settings when you have your speech to text account set up. We have drop downs for the 3 services, and you plug in the information directly from the account you created, and you can click the little test button, and in the syslog, it will give you instant feedback if everything's configured, and you're up and running. And then you simply enable it in the user profile, and you're off to the races. Justin mentioned we provide the transcription in 2 areas. One is this area is what you'll see in a voicemail to email attachment. It'll be in the body of the email, and this is what you will see in ZAC, in the ZAC interface. The transcription will be attached with the actual voicemail when you click on it. So very easy, very simple to use. Very powerful feature. And again, there's various levels. We've had good luck based on the early access sites with all 3 services. They're very professional, very high quality engines. The next feature I want to talk about is SMS integration. So Zultys has offered SMS, and we still do with our cloud services, but many of you have come to us and said, hey, I have my own carrier and I want to enable SMS directly on a premise system, or my own data center instance, or in the Zultys data center, but I want to use my own SMS provider. So with release 16, we are allowing SMS integration with providers that support the SMPP protocol. If you have an SMS provider that supports SMPP, and that is a standard protocol, you can go into the MX administrator, configure your account. It's a very simple setup, and integrate directly with SMS into the MX system. So now another method of communication available to your customers. We can do it on an individual DID basis. So this is very popular for like real estate agents, where they put their DID number on their signs or listings, and they get a text directly to them, and they can handle it directly. Or you can purchase consider it like a block of SMS enabled SMPP numbers, and you can add them in this temporary DID area, where a user sends out an SMS message, and we just attach one of the block of numbers. We maintain the user who sent and the external number, and we can coordinate the replies. We have some cases where they want to be anonymous. They don't necessarily want to provide their DID number. They just want a generic kind of company 800 number. And so we support both cases with this SMS integration. That's an item you'll see in release 16 as well. This was a big request from a lot of the tag members. And then I want to talk about the ICC web wallboard. With release 15, we provided a method, a web-based wallboard, so that supervisors could configure and agents could see the group statistics, agent statistics, all the statistics that are available within an ICC group. With the web-based wallboard, we've enhanced it in release 16 so that each large character window is now can now have a group associated with it. And this is important because now it allows you to put multiple groups on a single web page. So in the examples I show here, you can now say, okay, I've got sales and support statistics. I can create large character windows for, this is agents available, calls in queue for the sales group. On the same line, I can also have the support group. Or it's flexible enough that if you want to create multiple lines, multiple blocks, we use a wireframe type interface you'll see where you can snap all the large character windows into any position on the web page that you want. This is very important because now you're allowed to view multiple groups on a single web page.
And I think the wallboard's a great feature, Charles. It's definitely utilized a little. I like it a little bit more than the super view if I want to see basic statistics, right? The super view gives you a lot of information, and I think what this allows you guys to do is have your customers simplify what's going on in that contact center, in that call center, especially if they only want to give them a small amount of statistics, right? They won't see if you're seeing who's on the phone and hovering aboard and doing the coach monitor join through SuperView. So it's a great feature. And, you know, while it's blue in here, the real nice flexibility, I mean, it could get crazy. Charles could have created a rainbow of colors in there. You know, every one can be done differently. So there is a lot of flexibility that goes into that wallboard.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I guess I'm not very creative with my colors, Justin, sorry. All right, let's talk about ZAC 7. This is very exciting. For those of you who have been with us since ZAC was initially released through now, I think this is probably one of the most exciting deliverables we have to date on ZAC. We have a number of features that have been requested over time with ZAC, and this is going to be a very large deliverable for us with ZAC. We're going to give you the call attached data feature. We're going to give you the web chat interface. We're going to give you all the fax cover pages, fax confirmation and receipt, the Whisper Monitor Barge for non-ICC users, and then as part of our broader strategy about allowing communication not just with internal users, but as we expand out, external links for to invite non-MX users into chats as well as screen share. So I was going to talk about call attached data, but my good buddy Justin Bush is just so passionate about this subject that I have to let him take over.
I love it. It's that, or I really like to hear my own voice, Charles. I can't figure it out. So I am passionate about CAD because I think it's a great feature. I thought it was a great feature of Mixie that we probably didn't sell enough of. I think today it's really important to realize what this CAD allows us to do. The customer experience is something that I'm hearing all the time now in the industry. It's kind of buzz, right? It's the customer experience, the patient experience. If I'm in with a credit union, it's my member experience, whatever it happens to be. I'm trying to improve my customer experience. Well, CAD is something Zultys has had for a while, and I've sold a few of these where it really allows you to differentiate yourself. Again, it's, can I change their business and raise the bar and allow you to make more money? And CAD is one of those features we don't charge for, but it should be used a whole lot. You know, I was down in St. Louis and I worked with a fire sprinkler manufacturer down there, and they have like roughly around 300 users on a Zultys product. We were up against Mitel, and I was having just an idle chit chat before we got into a demonstration. And what I heard from them is they have Salesforce as a CRM, which we all know is pretty big and pretty easy to use. However, their technical support people weren't using Salesforce as a CRM. They weren't entering notes. And so they were running into a problem. If somebody called in and they did a troubleshooting step, the next step, they would get somebody new and they'd have to start the process over. Well, we started to talk and I was like, hey, what if we could put a note on a call using CAD and keep that note with the call? And if they call back in within the next 2 weeks, kind of do a screen pop to see, did somebody talk to somebody? What did they say? What did they do for troubleshooting? And what is the next step? So for them, it created a poor man's CRM. And I'm not trying to say it's a CRM, but it's really about how to improve that experience, because that technician that calls in the second time a week later doesn't have to start over with the technician. It's about how did I make them feel, right? Oh, hey, Justin, are you calling about this customer? Yes. Okay, I see you did this. Here's the next step in the process if it's not working. It allows us to really simplify things and make it easy. But I look at it, there's so many different applications for this. If you get a call and I transfer it, you know, if John calls in and he gets on the phone with Charles and Charles transfers the call to me, normally if it's a blind transfer, I start that call over again. Hey, John, I see you're calling. What are you calling about? Well, that creates frustration, right? It's just I have to explain my story again and again. And the more I have to do it, the more I want to throw an iPhone against the wall, right? So for us, how do I stop that? How do I make them happy when they come in and they deal with us as an organization? Well, what if I put a note on, if Charles put a note on and said, it's John and this is what he's calling about, and I pick up and say, John, I see this is what you're calling about. I'm opening your account right now. Just bear with me a second. I have improved his experience with me. He is going to be happier because I acknowledge what he's talking about. But CAD can be used for that. It can be used for attorneys for tracking, you know, phone calls. This is a billable call, not a billable call. Can it be billed in increments and you can have drop downs? You know, we've got a customer in Michigan that does qualifications, and I think they have 23 drop downs when I did it with them probably 7 or 8 years ago to qualify. It's a laboratory. So what doctors are referring what type of labs to them? Where do they need to focus to grow their business in other medical facilities? So guys, for us, it's really how do we improve that productivity? But you know, you can take that a step further, as Charles will show you. You can edit the call attached data afterward. And really the important part is now I can create analytics on it. So I can report on call attached data. This is just such a huge feature. I get passionate about it because you can really sell a lot of different applications using that CAD, and it's something that's included. I'm really excited to see it move from Mixie over to ZAC because it's such a huge tool to leverage. The fire company that I was talking about, the fire alarm company down in St. Louis, originally it was won by Mitel because they thought they could do it. A week later, they came back to us and said, can you actually provide this application? And I said, absolutely. It's been native in Zultys forever. So we actually won the business away from Mitel, who said they could do it, but actually couldn't figure out how to provide that call attached data. It's just the little things that allow us to sell better and at a higher margin, right? We didn't have to go in and steal it or discount it. We held really good margin because we had a product that could do what they wanted to do. So sorry to go through all the slides, but I appreciate you letting me do that.
My pleasure, Justin. So the next item I want to talk about is our web chat feature, which is another way to allow your customers to engage their customers. This web chat feature allows a web chat client to be placed on a customer website and presented on the website, and allows an external customer website user to interact with an ACD or an ICC agent on the MX system. It's very simple to use. From an agent standpoint, it appears as an IM or a instant message session. We have features such as auto reply suggestions. So if your customers want standardized certain responses upon entry, upon exit, upon certain items that they want the agent to suggest, they can be pre-programmed, and the agent can just click a button and send these automated responses back to the website user. We can also create a chat conference with our agents. So if I'm an agent, I'm in a chat and I need some help, I can conference in another agent over web chat, and we can both simultaneously communicate with your external user. You can also transfer a chat to another agent. So let's say I'm an agent, I get a chat, and it really needs to be handled by a more senior member, for example. I can transfer that chat over to the more senior member, and they can pick up with a seamless experience from the external web user site. Very simple. And also, we also allow supervisor monitor and barge-ins of chat. So supervisors can silently monitor a chat for quality purposes, agent quality purposes, or they can join in. The agent can request, hey, I need your help on this with this chat, and the supervisor can jump in and have a chat conference. So a chat session, from an agent perspective, looks just like an IM session. Very simple. The ZAC user interface provides it in a very streamlined and consistent fashion. So your agents are very easy to adapt to. In terms of the web superview, supervisors can join the chat. Again, if they request help, they can join the chat, or they can join the chat silently just to monitor a chat and see what's going on for quality purposes, right? And then I want to tell you about another item that we added to web chat in 16. And this is very exciting because typically by the way, we've redone the web chat client files and the web chat client interface much cleaner, much nicer, much easier to integrate onto your website. That being said, on board the MX, we provide now a what I call a web chat test client. Simply by typing in your DNS or IP address of the MX with a /webchat, you will present this little web chat page. It's a little test client that comes up on your browser. You type in the group name that's programmed in your MX, and you can actually start a chat session without having to integrate any code onto a website. Why is this important? Let me tell you why. Now you can train agents before their website goes live. You can actually act as the customer, go through scenarios, and allow the agents to become very comfortable with how the web chat in ZAC functions, how to transfer, how to conference, all without putting code on a website. You can train your salespeople. You can train your technicians. Again, this allows you to not have to fully integrate code onto the website and still be able to test and operate the web chat functionality. I'm very excited about this. I think you'll see from a training and implementation perspective, this will pay dividends for you. A much smoother rollout when you do implement web chat. Yep.
Yeah, and I think, hey, Charles, before you go on, I think I'd like to touch on a couple things because
sure.
We talked about a couple slides there. So I think it's really important. The transfer of that chat, the ability to conference chat, it's not something that I see every day in the industry today for people that offer this web chat. So it's really important. We're really creating and adding more to our enterprise call center. So when you're going up against people, just don't be afraid of it because we have a really, really robust call center. This is the first thing we're going to talk about today that really shows what we're doing and focusing on the omni-channel call center piece. That is really what we're going down the road of is how do we meet the customers where they want to communicate and not force them to pick up a phone call. You know, I see a couple of people. So I see her video on my screen right now. Kelly can probably attest to this. If she sends me an email, she's probably going to get a phone call from me. But I want to catch up because it's been a while. I want to talk. I want to see how everything's going. You know, if we look at the way society is and the way people communicate, not everybody is going to be like me and want to pick up a phone. So we have to offer them different ways to be able to communicate and collaborate. What you're going to see on this release and beyond it is really how do we focus on that and make it easier to go meet everybody and not force them to pick up a phone or only in the channels that we want to communicate. So we're really focused on that at Zultys is creating that broader reach. You know, we want to have one pane of glass for everybody to do everything through. You know, the things that we're talking about when you look at the other manufacturers, it's not all created by them. It's multiple manufacturers that they kind of cobble together to create, oh, we can do that, but that's really checking a box. It's not easy to use, and that's really important. You know, we look at our cloud services, it's a really big reason we create and have less than a 1% churn rate because it's really easy. People leave. If they leave, a lot of times they come back because they don't get that ease of use that ZAC's going to provide for them. So anyway, I appreciate you letting me talk again. I'm going to stop thanking you, but I'm going to keep talking.
I know you will. It's okay. I love talking to you, Justin. So the next item we want to talk about, this is the smallest, biggest feature we delivered, right? Fax cover pages and fax receipt confirmation now for ZAC. You can go into the template editor in MX Administrator and select cover pages to be sent out with your faxes and fax receipt, the confirmation of sent fax. Justin was just telling me prior to the call, he just utilized this feature because he had to confirm that a contractor received the fax about a job and a date and scheduling. So this allows you to actually confirm that your fax got out and was in receipt. So if there's any anyone can test it, you can say, no, you received that fax on such and such a date and time. Very powerful feature, very requested feature as well. So we're happy to deliver that now in ZAC 7 for you. And also another feature, a big request was, so typically when we think about Whisper Monitor Barge, we always associate it with a call center. We want to monitor the agents. We want to make sure they're saying what the company expects them to say, delivering what we expect. But that in recent years has translated over not just to call centers, but just to employees in general, not necessarily call center agents, just general employees. A manager may want to monitor the call and make sure the employee is following procedures, processes, saying the company line, if you will, when they're engaging with customers. So now we have added the capability so that users can Whisper Monitor Barge without the need to be in an ICC group. It's still configured in user profiles. It's can be monitored. You simply check the box, and it's very simple from the ZAC interface. When you're on an active call, if you're enabled to monitor, you simply select the drop down and just select your particular action. Justin, any more uses for this that you've come across?
No, I think the coach monitor join, I think, in a lot of cases, I think the internal training piece is really nice, right? So I remember when I first started in collections, having to sit next to somebody and learn how to do collections with somebody with a little splitter sitting right next to me in my personal space. And obviously today we don't want to allow people in our personal space. And if you look at it today, especially, how do we provide the ability to analyze what's going on, the analytics or the supervisor capability when people are working from home? Because it's obviously the world that we're living in today. People aren't always comfortable with their workforce being remote. We are at Zultys because it's what we've always known is this remote workforce. There's a lot of organizations that are really just getting used to it. So being able to offer this to coach, monitor, join from anywhere in the country or the world, wherever they want to be, is a really great feature. So, I think it's a big one to talk about because it's super easy. Again, I'll say it again, it's a one pane of glass. You can do it right from your ZAC. You're not moving around and how do I go do this? I don't have to go into SuperView. So there's a lot of really big benefits of having this coach monitor join.
Yep, agreed. Okay, so now let's talk about the pizzazz. Okay, and I realize that may be an old school term, but as Zultys is all about internal collaboration, as most of you know. We give instant messaging, voice, fax, multiple ways to communicate internally. But as we move forward, and ZAC 7 is kind of the first step in that movement, we want to provide collaboration tools not only to internal users, but we also want to extend them out of the MX system. So in ZAC 7, what you are going to see is when you're in a user chat session or a group chat session, you will be able to generate an external link, copy it, send it to someone outside of the MX system, aka a non-MX user. They will be able to access the chat session and communicate with your group users or you as an individual user. It's a simple, and this is part of our web RTC strategy and how we plan to leverage this type of technology. So that you copy a link, you send it to an external user, they join your chat session. Now both internal MX users as well as an external user are now part of a chat session. So the case that I always see is I need to engage a vendor with my materials group, right? We need to know a supply issue or when a shipment is going to show up or something to that effect. I can now send a link outside and have that vendor join a group chat with my materials department, and we can hash things out all over IM. And as Justin mentioned, this is just another way, another method in addition to voice or in lieu of voice that we are allowing customers to communicate. Maybe that vendor prefers to jump in a chat session. They can do it without formally scheduling a conference call. This is the type of capability that we now enable with this functionality in ZAC 7.
And really important, guys, it's just a link and it opens a web browser. They're not loading anything. They're not loading a client. I've got a good friend on this call that lives in Chicago here. He sells a Zultys product, and I remember testing a product. I'm not going to say it was Ring Central, but I'll say it was Ring Central, and the Glip software, and I had to load a client on my desktop to be able to join into that chat. This is super easy. The link stays open for 24 hours. It is a great function to be able to use to allow people into that chat. And it's a 24-hour link, Charles, correct?
Correct.
So it's open for 24 hours and it goes away. What I don't see on there is steal a little thunder from the next slide, but I know they can do the screen share as well. So if I have an external party in that group chat, I know that there's a screen share button that goes into there. So this allows you to say, okay, come in, let's chat. And if we're chatting, one of the really cool things that you can do is, okay, hey, by the way, let's just share something on the screen. You know, it's really important. If you're looking to buy, you know, I think it's all becoming virtual now. We just bought a bed for my 3-year-old, you know, and so we're doing it over Amazon. It would have been really nice to kind of walk around and see it inside of the stores. Well, if I was with somebody that had video, I could have just said, hey, let's screen share, and here's the different bed options that we have, and how we can customize it. We just did it with a playground we bought for the backyard of our house for our kids as well. So Vic just said a question. Vic, you know it was you.
Excellent, Justin. Yes, and this is an example of what a screen share session would look like. So in a user chat, or a user chat with an external user, or probably very important internal team members in a group chat, someone in the group wants to share a document, an Excel spreadsheet. They can simply share their screen. All group members can either conference. We can remember we added a group conference call to group chat, so we can create an audio conference. We can all talk about it. We can all just chat about it. However, the method the user prefers to communicate, chat, voice, or both, is all available now within this interface. It's really powerful. A very exciting time here at Zultys, folks. I'll just say that. And Justin knows I don't get excited too often, so this is a very exciting time. And the other item I wanted to talk about today was we're going to allow you to import contacts now to your address book. So you can, we're now supporting the vCard format, which has become very popular. You still have your CSV, or if you're a Macintosh user, we'll go ahead and support the native Mac format. So now you can integrate your contacts easily by simply importing them from a file that is of one of these formats. Good for a large number if you have a large number of imported contacts that you want to make part of ZAC. Okay, so let's talk about, Justin mentioned web-based WebRTC development. With the Early Access 16, we are introducing our ZAC application in web-based form. This is Zultys's commitment to deliver on web-based applications. We started, for those of you who've been with us, you know we've done the web super view. We've done the call recording viewer. The ICC wallboard will continue to develop applications in a web-based format as we move forward. But ZAC Web is really exciting because now it allows that UC functionality, voice, chat, etc., from devices that only support browsers, right? So there's no application to load. You just point this to the MX system and launch WebZAC, and now you have a full-featured unified communication client all from within your web browser. And I want to show you,
it's all about how do we make it easier to work from anywhere, everybody. It's you know, the big thing that I look at this for is Chromebooks, right? We've gotten that questions for a long time. How do we support Chromebooks? You get into these school applications where Chromebooks are prevalent, and how do you can't load ZAC on there unless you have a full running version of Windows. And so this is our answer to that, to be able to really allow people to work from anywhere. Or if you're on the road, you know, I know traveling isn't the easiest right now, but if you hit a hotel and you get a computer, can I just go down and get into my ZAC if I need to work for the day? So really big thing. And before, Charles, before you go into it, I know there's some features that you'll talk about that are there, and the transfer that we had from Nixie to ZAC has taken us a little bit of time, but I want to assure everybody that we are going to get everything over from ZAC to web ZAC before the snow falls on the ground in Arizona where Charles lives.
Maybe sooner, Justin.
So probably
this,
Charles.
For all of you who are not participating in the early access, this is probably your first preview of what web ZAC looks like. And it looks like ZAC, kinda, huh? We have the same type of controls, same type of options and features. So recents, buddies, groups, voicemail, contacts, call parks, call control, all available. The My Info screen, group chat, external link, screen share, all available in web-based ZAC. And as Justin mentioned, we're continuing to add functionality in a rapid manner. It will be a rapid manner for the web-based development. So, but again, unified communications capability from devices that are OS agnostic and only have a web browser. Now those type of opportunities are well within your capability and wheelhouse with the web-based ZAC.
We love it.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's such an exciting time here. Okay,
hey, Charles,
so yes.
Charles, one more little thing, and I know it's going to sound real little, but I think it's really big, and I didn't see it in the presentation. I forgot to mention earlier when we talked. Direct transfer to voicemail happens to be in version 16 ZAC 7, correct?
Direct transfer to voicemail. Yes, we added that.
And it is one of the biggest feature requests that we have been getting, is along with the fax piece. So, you know, I don't want to walk away saying, hey, we're still missing a couple features. That has been a really big request, is direct transfer to voicemail, and that's included. There's a whole lot more that we're just not going to go through, but I think that was really important. I thought about that earlier, just wanted to make sure everybody heard that.
Yes, that is a correct statement. Cool. It is there. We got it in about halfway through the early access program, Justin. Yes. Yep. Perfect. Very powerful feature. And one you'll see in the near-term future is pull the call from voicemail as well.
Yep. Awesome. Yep.
Yes. Yes. So let's kind of talk about, obviously we're coming towards the end of early access. We expect formal GA within a few weeks for release 16 and ZAC 7. So let's take a look at what we see beyond that, or what we're already working on, I should say, to a large degree. So one area is some SMS enhancements. We want to add SMS support for call groups, but we want to do it right. We want you to be able to have an SMS number that comes into a call group, gets distributed to agents, agents handle it, agents responses, so that once an agent responds, other agents don't see the thread, or they want to see the threads, everyone gets copied. So those type of features you'll see with our SMS group support when we deliver it. A big request is also to add the MMS, attaching various file formats into a SMS message. So we'll deliver on that as well. Part of our broader look, or omni-channel contact center approach, is also with our web chat interface. You're going to see us provide integrations to applications such as Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. So this will allow your customers to deliver other channels to communicate with the company through these very popular applications. Okay, so these interfaces, they'll look from an agent perspective, they will look like a web chat. They'll be able to interact with Facebook Messenger customers or WhatsApp customers directly. We will log that information, and you'll be able to report on it as well. Business analytics. How many chats came through web chat? How many came through Facebook? How many came through WhatsApp? All this capability will deliver with these web chat enhancements. Another big item that we get requests for is Teams integration. And the situation is typically that the most common scenario that we hear about is, listen, we're a Microsoft shop. Teams is our collaboration tool. we're going to use that, but the voice piece of Teams is really not that robust. We really need more voice capability with our Teams UC interface. So we are in the process of looking at direct routing interface, how to make that happen so that clients who want to utilize that UC capability of the Teams product, but want the voice capability inbound and outbound of Zultys, which is superior to MS Teams, and more cost effective, most likely, will be able to take advantage of that. Also, I don't know, Justin, you mentioned, have we ever tried to get a DID number ported from Microsoft and what that would entail?
Yeah, I can't imagine calling them into Microsoft for an LOA, right? So I think that might be a painful experience. But I think really importantly, we want to make this more of a strategic integration. You know, we have the ability today, we know we've seen it to utilize Call the Teams for a very basic integration, but we want to make this a very strategic integration, which is why it's taken us a little bit longer, because we want to do this right. This won't be the last integration to Teams. It'll be something that we continually evolve. As long as they leave holes open for us to do some integration, we're definitely going to do it. Because, you know, if you look at Teams, there's still a lot missing from their voice platform, call center, SMS. There's a bunch of functionality that just doesn't exist today. I'm not saying they're not going to get there, but I'm saying we've got some experience, and Microsoft has been trying to get there for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, and that journey's still going. I know everybody says they can just throw money at it, but you know, they seem to have thrown a lot of money at it. They just keep changing platform names. So we are definitely working on this integration. It is something that we want to do quickly. We understand the tag and everybody's running into it. It is something that's out there, but we want to make sure that it's the right integration. It actually does something and not just some marketing fluff like a lot of what we see out there today.
Excellent point. Big feature, video capability. We are going to introduce video capability in the near term for ZAC, user-to-user video, user to a standards-based device. The video we will introduce with ZAC is based on standard video codec. So not only will you be able to communicate ZAC user to ZAC user, but you should be able to communicate ZAC user to a Polycom phone, for example, or a Zoom interface. Anything that utilizes the standards-based video codec, we should be able to communicate with from ZAC. Group video in a group chat session. So now we have screen share, we have group video, all internal collaboration with the video touch now. So video, voice, IM, all in the near term with ZAC. Also video on our Zultys mobile communicator applications as well, both Android and iPhone in the short term. And then a number of ZAC features, file share and group chat, speed dial, intercom, queue monitor. I won't go through them all, but let me just make a comment. When we deliver ZAC features, there are certain ZAC features that require, say, at MX side support. We need to make a change on the MX system in order for this feature in ZAC to be supported. There are other features in ZAC that just require ZAC change, only on the client side. So what you'll see is, though, even though we're presenting this as kind of a release 17 type roadmap, you will see some of these features delivered ahead of the next major release for the features that do not require any kind of MX side development. So I mentioned pull a call from voicemail. So features that don't require any MX side development will be ahead of the next major release, which is really exciting. It allows us to schedule those type of developments irrespective of trying to coordinate it with the next MX, either a maintenance release or a major release. So stay tuned for that. You'll see that.
Let me talk about, I want to jump in real quick. I think the
sure.
video is really important for me. This is something that was 90% done, but we didn't want to hold up version 16 and ZAC 7 any longer. So as soon as this gets released, it's a matter of going back and finishing the last 5 to 10% and then throwing it through QA to get that video out. So when Charles says it's going to be a short release, it will be a short release because a lot of the work has been done already. It's just a matter of finalizing it. We just didn't want to hold up this version anymore there's just so much in it, and you can continue to hold it up for the next feature and the next feature and the next feature, and you'll see, right, we've got a lot on the roadmap, and you just got to stop it and cut it off and say, okay, let's get the next piece out. So really important. A lot of that's going to be done because we look at it and say, okay, how can we make it easier to do all this collaboration outside of the phone system? And we've got more really exciting stuff coming.
Yep. Thank you, Justin. Yeah. And that's what we do. If I may share a little insight, the product management team, the development team, and the sales representation team, i.e. John and Justin, we have probably monthly meetings to talk about the marketplace, the situation, what they're seeing from a competitive perspective, what they want to prioritize in terms of features and functions. So we're very well aligned in terms of what we're delivering to market. You know, we kind of got a nice chain of trust all the way from what sales is hearing through product management, specifying, developing, and then down to the dev team. So we're very in tune. I think our process, and we continue to refine it. You know, we'll always make improvements, but right now it's a good touch and good feedback, and hopefully that's reflected in what you see today. That's my hope anyway. For web-based, I mentioned web-based applications, obviously with the ZAC web you saw, but we're going to continue to add or improve our web-based applications. You're going to see the outbound dialer UI move to a web-based development. You're going to see MX Archive Viewer move to a web-based development. The wall board that I showed you, right now the supervisor can present it to agents in a common area, like a traditional wall board. We're going to come up with an agent version that maybe can sit on their screen. They can't program it, but they'll be able to see stats without having to look at a common area. So we're constantly looking at web-based applications and how we can add or improve to deliver a better experience for you and your customers. And then Justin mentioned WebZac development. Yes, WebZac is on a fast track development, so you'll see all the features. In essence, I'll surmise it with, we're going to bring the WebZac up to parity with Application ZAC in the quickest amount of time possible. That's our goal with the WebZac development. And I do believe, did you want to say any closing statements, Justin or John, before we take questions?
No, I don't think so, Charles. Yeah, I'd like to make sure we run through some of the questions here.
Okay.
We've got some, I think, that were answered in the presentation, but for sure, let's walk through them.
Oh, I didn't see any questions, John.
I didn't see any questions.
Thought we covered it all. All right, so let me go back through the chat. So I could see that, Brian, looks like you answered the very first one from Scott, that the presentation and the video will be provided afterward. Charles, can you answer the one on the HIPAA in Canada? I think it's labeled something else. I'm trying to get my mouse control on my laptop to be better.
HIPAA is only for the United States.
Okay.
Department of Health and Human Services. It's a U.S. regulatory. I am unfamiliar with any Canadian equivalents of HIPAA.
So it looks like Dave, I think it's Dave Matthews.
Yep. Dave Matthews. So Dave, we love Dave.
So PAPITA is what he's saying it is. Dave, we'll take a look at it and see what it would take and what it is. So I hadn't heard of it.
Send me an email, Dave.
Okay. Matt asked what does Google charge? And Charles, I think he answered it in there. It's dependent on usage and utilization. So anywhere from free to whatever the charge happens to be.
I think the free service, as I recall, Google is up to 50,000 or 500,000 words a month. Anything beyond that, there's tiered services. So it's very easy to find all these providers. The one nice thing about going with these large providers, when you Google speech to text API or speech to text, they typically have a breakout of here's the service, and pricing is always a main topic. You can just click on the pricing link and you'll be able to get the whole the whole information on their pricing offerings. Yep.
Okay. Charles, how about integrating speed dial import from MX to ZAC? And I don't remember seeing that in 16, but I'll let you answer that one.
Import, run that by one more time.
Speed dials into ZAC.
Speed dial will come out. It's not in 7, but it's on the list to do. The question is specifically importing.
Integrating the speed dial import from MX to ZAC, yes.
Okay. I will provide a response to you, Justin. If that's a current feature, then it should carry over into ZAC. Yep.
Perfect. And then Scott, we're definitely going to do some videos on CAD. And John, maybe we can look at doing some write-ups or something like that. But I think the video showing some of the CAD stuff, I saw a great application the other day that we're going to do a video on. So we'll definitely start giving you some better real-life examples of how to use CAD, because again, I'm passionate about it because it's definitely something that you can use to close more systems.
And as a note to the videos, Justin, I think it's important just to say, if you don't belong to our partner alliance group in Facebook, it might be a good idea to join. We have a lot of great information, videos, some co-branding, marketing pieces available to you. So anyway, take a look at it. We welcome you there.
Yeah, definitely join the Facebook group. There's lots of great content, and Terry, who's our partner enablement manager, is continuing to do more. I know, I don't know if Sanford's on this call, but I know he worked with them at ATS to create a custom video for them. I mean, there's a lot that we're doing for you guys. We want to be able to deliver great content. Hey, Charles, can your agent web chat on the mobile, or do you need ZAC on the computer to use it?
ZAC on the computer for now. Web chat will be integrated into the mobile communicator in the future, yes.
Okay, and that is not going to be a system. It won't require a system. It'll just be in one of the mobile app updates.
It'll be right.
Yep. Okay. All right. Perfect. And then Dave
or web-based ZAC with call group functionality when it comes.
Yeah.
On a tablet or mobile device in a browser. Yep.
Right. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was about to jump ahead, so I'll hold back.
Okay. Plans. Plans to encrypt voice in ZAC Web or Web ZAC, Charles?
Yes, there are plans for encryption. Yep.
Okay. Why aren't we testing out Web ZAC on our, oh, never mind. That was a private message. We'll work on that later, sorry. Is PDF attachment faxing going to be available at any point? Charles, I think I can take that because I can do that today in my 16.
Justin, transfer to voicemail was left off, and guess what? Faxing PDF is also available in ZAC 7.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can browse right from inside of ZAC now. So you could pick what files you're going to do. You can do all files, PDF. You could select the file. So it's super easy now. I can actually test that because I use that with my roofing company.
Yep. It has been tested in early access successfully. Yes. Yep.
Definitely used it. Dave, lots of Teams activity. There is definitely lots of Teams activity. We agree, which is why we're making it a high priority for us. Yep. TTY TDD integration would be a great feature. Have we looked into that, Charles? I thought I saw an email about that yesterday.
So we haven't looked into that in terms of kind of like a Zultys development, but I am aware very recently, I believe channel support has found a third-party TTY device, SIP-based device that seemed to fit the bill for a particular application. We should take whoever requested that question. We should probably put them in touch with channel support. I believe Bill has researched it and done it and come up with a good solution for an application.
I think I saw that yesterday or on Monday. And that
yes.
Yep, for sure. So definitely, it's definitely something you should check with channel support on. Looks like it was Gary Gonzalez. Gary, if you want me to check, just let me know and I'll take care of it for you.
Hi, Gary.
Is client side Dave M client side Teams integration on the roadmap?
So as Justin indicated, after direct routing, we really have to figure out how far we want to take the Teams integration and what it would take. There's been discussions about client side, but I can't. We're still early enough that I can't give you any definitive like ETA or anything, but yes, we are looking at after direct routing, we are looking at multiple methods to provide more robust integrations to Teams, as Justin indicated.
Perfect. Hey, let me step it. Terry, you just sent me a private message about the TTY. Actually, I have the information. Can you share it with Gary while this is still going on, please? Gary G. That'd be great. So his access phone or something like that. So Gary, you should have it while we're on the phone call. You should have the answer. Dave Matthews, looks like he's got some really good questions today. MX admin, web-based. I think there's a please after that. I think he put question marks but meant exclamation points.
Well, yeah, web-based moving MX administrator to a web-based is definitely on the roadmap. I cannot provide an ETA, but yes, tell Dave, yes, understood, and we will be working on it. Yes. We actually, it's very interesting he brings that up, because I've heard more requests for MX administrator on the Macintosh recently, which is kind of shocking. You know, I'm a Macintosh shop, and I you know, that I don't use Windows, so very interesting. So yeah, we will be looking at delivering MX administrator as a web-based product. Yep.
Perfect. Any changes in Flex Communicator, possibly put those functions directly into ZAC?
We are looking at making a ZAC version that has Flex Communicator functionality on board or integrated with it, so that you wouldn't have two separate programs. The configuration for Flex would be part of the settings in ZAC. Yes, that's a very good question.
And I'm going to add something else in here. I don't know if I should, and John, you can mute me if it's something I shouldn't be talking about, but thank God you don't have mute control, so I'll just do it. So we've got somebody doing call it a pilot version of a REST API integration. So we're really looking at how do we do more integration, right? So Flex Communicator is great, but how do we do it through a REST API? And so Charles, you obviously know it if you want to speak to it, but we're definitely working on a pilot version of that. We want to make it easier to do more and more CRM, ERP integrations for organizations. And that REST API is really important. We get the request, you know, so we're definitely working on that.
Yep.
How does use of speech to text for voicemail affect HIPAA compliance? Great question.
So HIPAA compliance, one of the applications you cannot utilize in a HIPAA compliant environment is the voicemail to email feature. You have to disable it for HIPAA applications. So transcription is no different. You would have to disable the transcription as well, because obviously if there's sensitive information left in a voicemail and it's transcribed on a screen, that could violate HIPAA standards.
Perfect.
Yep.
And I think the last really important question before I open it up that I see on here is, are the trout biting in Montana today? I know you've got your fishing. I know you've got your waders on under there, John.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I had to pull the chest waders down. So yeah, I'll be on the other line in a minute. So yeah, no, fishing's been great. A little bit of a rainy spring, but things are great. Yep. Yeah. Thanks.
Perfect. All right. Any other questions that anybody has that they would like to ask?
Bueller?
I think we're good.
Excellent.
So we all appreciate you taking the extra time. I know we went over time a little bit.
Actually, we have one more from Vic. So Vic, you want to see that one, Justin? We got one.
Yep, I see it. Absolutely. I'll let John answer it. When is Zultys going to invest in more marketing videos?
Well, we're constantly working on videos. We have quite a few in mind, Vic. So I think the next one that we're actually working towards is the call attached data. So that was already pre-decided. But if you have some ideas, please percolate them up on the Facebook page, and we'll certainly look at getting them done for you.
All right, sounds good. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. I want to again thank Charles, Justin, John, and the entire Zultys team that was on the call today. Thank you for all you do each and every day to serve our members and their customers. We greatly value the partnership, as John mentioned earlier. It's been a phenomenal relationship, and just gets better each and every year. If you need anything, obviously, if you have any questions, please reach out to Zultys. Please reach out to your account rep. If there's anything that you need to hear from TAG, let us know. But again, we're going to send out the PowerPoint along with the recording definitely within the next day or so. So you should all have that. It will also be posted on the video section under Zultys on our website as well. So again, Charles, great job. Justin, great job. Thank you so much. And John, again, thank you for all you do.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Take care. Have a happy 4th and a great weekend.
Take care. Goodbye.
See you, everybody.